One of the most interesting things that I always come across with people who went to Hebrew school, all those years in afternoon Hebrew school, and I started talking Judaism with them and Torah and so forth and so forth, and they relate to me the statement that their teacher always told them, like, if they wanted to ask a question, they were slapped. Oh, we don't ask questions. We don't do. Other people say, we don't ask the question why. We don't ask the question what to do. But so many times I heard that they were taught by people that Jews don't question. Jews never ask why. Nasa Nishma, they say. We were told, we just do. We don't ask why. And I found that to be one of the strangest statements. Because if you look in terms of Judaism, the development of the Jewish people, the initial act of nationhood that we celebrate every year is with the question. How do we celebrate our nationhood? What do? What is the day that marks our nationhood? What's our Independence Day, our July 4th, our July 1 in Canada? It's Pesach. At the Pesach Seder. And what's the essence of the Pesach Seder? Yeah, you have to eat the Korban Pesach, and you have to eat matzah and maror, and you have to drink the Arba Kosas, the four wines. But what's the one thing that stands out? The little kid gets up there and says, the Manishtana. What's going on over here? Why? Why is this night different than any other night? The question why. And that idea of a question is actually inherent in the mitzvah of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim. The telling over the story of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim has to be with a question and answer. You say even with two people, there has to be one person asks a question, one person has to answer. With one person, it's a question and answer. Because it's essential to understand that our formation as a nature is tied to the question. Without question, you can't have Torah. You can't have a relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Because what's the essence of our relationship with God? It's mystery. It's the fact that the concept of one God, monotheism, there's a reason why the world had polytheism. They couldn't understand bad things happen to good people, good things happen to bad people, what's going on in the world, you have this, you have that. Doesn't make any sense. But that question, therefore they gave the answer, polytheism. Mars over here, Venus over there, and that's the answer. But one God, everything coming from one God, that's the great challenge of thought. And that's the challenge that we have to face when we recognize HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Our whole existence is to try to understand God, and to understand life, and to understand our being. If we don't ask why, we can't grow. We can't really strive to Har Sinai, go from Pesach to Har Sinai. We can't strive as a nation to go forward and to understand what we are supposed to do in life. Therefore, when the Kodesh Baruch Hu tells us to remember the birthday of our nation, tells us to remember Yetziat Mitzrayim, when Bnei Yisrael was formed into Am Yisrael, when the children of Israel became the nation of Israel, Shem Shofar Hirsch says Pesach is a celebration of our physical creation, and Shavuos is a celebration of our spiritual creation. But how do we celebrate that creation? Manishtana. Ask the question. Because from the question we get involved in thought, in Liban Torah, and in striving to understand life and understand our relationship with the Kodesh Baruch Hu.